Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be another First Impressions video. In today's First Impressions video, we are taking a look at the T.rex Arms RAGNAROK. You guys know I've been rocking the T.rex Arms Sidecar, which is an inside the waistband appendix style holster. I'm a huge fan of their holsters, and honestly I'm a huge fan of their company as a whole. It's pretty awesome when as a customer I receive an email for a Lexington and Concord sale that the percentage off is 17.75%. It's just pretty awesome. But aside from that, I feel that they make some pretty good products. I get no kickbacks or funds or any free stuff from T.rex Arms. I paid full retail for this holster. These are not the cheapest holsters out there. I think I paid about 138 bucks for this entire setup, but I am pretty excited about it. This is my first piece of gear for a battle belt setup. For those of you guys out there that know me know that I do have some cool firearms, but in the section that I am definitely lacking, it would be in the kind of preparedness kit. I don't have a lot of that stuff. This is my first piece to the puzzle. This RAGNAROK is a very modular outside the waistband Kydex holster. As always with T.rex Arms, they do make it for a significant amount of firearms. Obviously, in my case, I went with the VP9 because that is my everyday carry, and that's also what I wanted for my outside the waistband go to war setup as well. Now, I'll say right away that the retention out of box on this RAGNAROK was extremely loose. That is normal, but when I say loose, it was to the point where if I just slightly tilted the holster up, the gun would fly right out. I mean, there was no retention at all. So I did tighten these down, and I will say you can get it overly tight or you can get it just tight enough. I did like that factor, so that way, whatever you're looking for, if you're one of those guys that likes to run it so tight that you can barely get it out, or so that it's extremely loose and draws are just crazy fast, you can do whatever you would like. I personally prefer it so it's just tight enough that it snaps in with some retention there, and it's also tight enough that if I tip it upside down, the gun's not gonna come out, but it still draws really easily. Now, one of the really modular things about the RAGNAROK is all of the different accessories that you can get for the backside here. You can run a traditional belt style setup that just hooks the RAGNAROK right up to your belt. I personally preferred this Safariland mid-ride setup. The really cool thing about this is it gives you all of the benefits of a drop leg style holster and really none of the negatives. Generally with a drop leg holster, they can hold the gun secure, but when you start going to run or sprint around or move your legs a lot of the time that gun can shift back and forth. Now, they do have drop leg holsters out there that really do solve that problem quite a bit. But I will say this is a really nice kind of middle of the road option that's going to position the gun low enough so that it will not get mixed up with your body armor at all, or really even your arms and hands in your regular everyday tasks. Sometimes a regular height outside the waistband holster kind of can just get in the way and it can dig in. This completely gets rid of that. It's going to drop the gun down significantly, and it's going to be put in a position that's really close to your hand. And guys, I can't say this enough, this holster is fast to draw from. I mean, it is right by your hand. There's no additional retention buttons or anything you have to hit. Additionally, you can buy this T.rex Arms branded strap that you see linked around the back of this piece here. What this strap can do is it can wrap around your legs, snap into place, and it's going to make sure that the gun just does not move anywhere. And I gotta tell you guys, it does work. But there is one downfall that I do see to this. And this downfall is really not a huge deal. As you see it, as this holster is set up right now, I would say that although you could use it for your everyday carry outside the waistband, out in public, it's really not designed for that. It's more designed for like that go-to-war setup, or you want to run it at the range, you don't want to go in all over the place, or a 3-gun setup. However, I did do some testing, and I wore it for a full day of work at my other job at the gun shop. Obviously, I was wearing it with just some regular 511 pants, and the strap worked. It worked really well, but in some baggier pants, it kind of like hikes them up on one side, and this is all things I really don't care about too much at the range, but if you're wearing it like out and about in public, it may not be something you want to go with, and that's where you might want to run just the standard belt attachment on the backside of the RAGNAROK. Now, this Safariland system is pretty sweet. It is going to actually snap right into place for you, so that way it'll allow you to quickly change between holsters. The RAGNAROK itself is not very expensive at all. I think it's about 50 or 60 bucks depending on the model and coloring that you get. You can get a bunch of different RAGNAROKs for whatever gun that you have, and if you want to switch it on and off your holster but don't want to deal with unstrapping this entire thing from your battle belt system or your belt that you're wearing on your pants, you can easily push in these two little forks here on both sides, and the entire holster sneaks up and will pull right out, and you would just simply put your next one into the holster, snap it down into place, and it's going to lock in for you just fine. I really like that style of setup here, and I think they did a good job teaming up with Safariland to offer you something that's very fast and very modular depending on whatever gun you want to rock in that holster in that particular range day. The strap here is made of some really nice material, and it has this rubberized texturing on the backside. Once this strap is screwed down into this holster, it is not moving at all side to side. So quick little tip, you're going to want to make sure that you have the buckle placed where you want it on your leg before you cinch all this stuff down. I just simply left it with how I got it from the factory, and it ended up working just fine. The only time I took this strap off was at work, just because I didn't want all my pant leg riding up and everything like that while I was at work all day, and I did test this holster without the strap. It works just fine without the strap, but I did notice a slight amount more wiggle and movement without the strap being on. As far as for comfort of wearing this setup all day long, this is not something that goes with the RAGNAROK itself, it's just with this Safariland system. You'll notice that it angles the gun kind of into your leg. This is great for draws, but the only thing I did notice after about a 10-hour workday is it does start digging into the right side of your leg, depending on where this is angled on your body. Now, if it's more forward, it's going to dig in, I found, a little bit more, but if it's rotated a little bit more towards the back, it's going to dig in less. So you got to play around with that and figure out exactly what's comfortable. Now, about the only user error that I noticed about this holster when I first started drawing from it is I'm one of those people that keeps my finger touched to the gun when I am holstering or reholstering, keeping my finger high and off the trigger. You may not want to do exactly that on this holster. You'll notice that if I keep my finger pressed up against the gun as I am reholstering, it is very, very easy to pinch your finger on that piece of Kydex that's sticking out right here. Now, obviously, to get around this, I just simply lifted up a little bit and allowed my finger to get pushed away, basically, by the holster, and just kind of elevated it a little bit whenever I was reholstering the gun. But I did get a sharp reminder the very first time I holstered this, just to keep my finger out of the way. So be aware that if you get one of these holsters, I am not sure if it changes per gun, but you may just want to elevate your finger and get it completely off of the gun when you're going ahead and reholstering, just because they do beef it out a little bit, making it a plus side because it's faster to get back into the holster, but a downside because it is easier to pinch your finger. That's pretty much going to finish this video up, guys. Go ahead and head down to that description and check out the first link. It'll show you how you can support what I do here on the Firearm Freedom channel. While you're in the description, check out the Firearm Freedom Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account. We do daily posts on all three of those and twice a week live streams on the Instagram. And if you enjoy the content that's coming out here on my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. It'll make sure you never miss out whenever I post a new video every month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more great videos to come soon.